Hey guys, it's Jenny Wolek with Wolek Real Estate Group in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Keller Williams Realty Advantage. Thank you so much for coming back to my agent success secrets. And this guy, most of you probably already know the amazing James Shaw. He only travels around the country. Not only is he an amazing bold coach, you also teach tons of Keller Williams University courses that I have enjoyed as well. So welcome, James.
Thank you, Jenny. What an honor to be on. I mean, this is a big deal. So thank you very much.
You are so kind. Well, James, you were in the year of 2000 and
what was that, 15, 14, something like that?
14, yeah. I took bold 4 times.
Yeah.
And you were one of my amazing bold coaches that year. And I drove to Oklahoma City. I think you were my first Oklahoma City bold coach.
Yeah.
And I had probably met you before and had not been in a class like this with you. Mm-hmm. And I must admit, you blew me away.
Oh, thanks. Here's the deal on that, Jenny, and I appreciate you saying that. We're lucky and we're blessed that Diana wrote the program that she wrote to go out and it's impacted your business in such a massive way along with so many other people. Yeah. And so thank goodness that Diana Kokoska wrote this bold program so that we can really grow out and see some amazing things happening to some agents. So thank you so much. And thanks goes to Diana.
Props to Diana, of course. And all of you coaches are really great at sharing her message. So James, I don't know if everyone knows about before bold, where did you come from and how'd you get into this business?
It's funny because I've talked to some people about this week, and I've been with KW now 13 years, which is amazing. I was 17 when I joined, and or not quite, maybe a little bit older. I'm not nearly as old as you, and happy birthday to you, by the way, Jenny. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Congratulations.
I mean, you've made it. I'm so proud of you. So no, I've been with KW for 13 years, and I started on a team in a town outside of Chicago, a little town called Crown Point, Indiana. And I was on a team there, true 7th level team, straight out of this book, right? So true 7th level team. And I was not the rainmaker, right? So if you think of the 7 levels, which is what, page 212 in here or whatever page it is, and you think of the 7 levels, the 214, something like that, doesn't matter. And so, I'm helping do that day-to-day operation of the group. And we were number 1 in all of Keller Williams in 2006, Jenny. And what's so fun, and this is what's happened, here it is 2018, here's what's happened in that short amount of time. What we did in 06 to be number 1 in all of Keller Williams would probably not even get you in the top 25 today. We did 444 units that year and $93 million in volume. And now agents are doing so much more. So that's how I got in. Then I was team leader for a while, a couple of different offices. And then I've been coaching bold and working with MAPS. I coach agents one-on-one now as well. So I've been with MAPS since 2014.
And what has shifting over to be a coach and a bold coach done for your life?
Here's what Dinah says, life by design, right? Life by design. And this is what it's allowed, me and my family to do is design our life. And here's what, and this is why I love working with Diana and coaching bold for her, is that she's passionate about the lives of the agents and them truly having that life by design and accomplishing anything they can, reaching their potential. And what the bottom line is, it comes down to what's happening up here, Jenny.
Yes.
And what's our mindset doing? I mean, you've seen experiences like that just for you where you are today in 2018 is nowhere close to where you were. I mean, 2014 seems like miles and miles ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so your world is totally open because of that. So that's what I love about coaching and training. I'm a master faculty for Keller Williams University. And so to go out and coach and teach and train and help these agents, I'll tell you, it's really cool.
Well, you're so good at it. So today I would love for us to touch on, so many agents come to me and ask me, where do I start? Yeah. They're always looking for that magic pill. And we say it over and over again. And I always say it's just this book called Millionaire Real Estate Agent. It's already created. So let's touch on that today. Let's start at the basics for all our agent friends out there struggling with how to make that happen.
What's interesting is, to me, I look at it and I go, it doesn't matter, Jenny, if you just got your license last night or if you've been selling for 40 years and last year you did 300 units or 600 units or 800. It doesn't matter. The basics, and I don't know if people take notes when they write this. So if you do, write this down, okay? The basics are never outdated.
No.
right? The basics are never outdated. And here's what has changed your business is at a family reunion a couple of years ago, we did this database class at family reunion, which I think people can download from KW Connect. I think you can go watch the whole thing or listen to it anyway.
It's still out there. What's your database worth?
Yeah. And so, and you, I mean, we planted you in the room and I said, we need a volunteer, and you raised your hand. It was really cute. And I called you up, and you and I had already walked through this. And what was interesting was you were underutilizing your database as a lead source. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Do you remember, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, I should have pulled them. Do you remember how many units you did in let's see, that would have been 2016 family reunion. So 2015, do you know about how many homes you sold?
Probably, I think it was 81.
Okay. And how many are in your database?
And we were using, I think, the 1,000 number for data.
Okay. So and here's the thing, and this is what everybody, just get out a calculator, because if you do this.
No.
Yeah, no, you could do this. And so Jenny, this is what Jenny said. She said, James, I'm going to ask the questions and you're going to answer them. And I said, no. I'm going to ask the questions and you're going to answer them.
Oh.
So here's what we do, Jenny. You take 1,000 and you divide it by 6. Now, and for everybody who's watching this, just take the number of METs in your database and divide it by 6. Because the book tells you, this little book right here says 12-to-2 conversion ratio, right, Jenny?
Correct.
Why do we say 12-to-2?
We say because every 12 people in your database should produce 2 pieces of business.
And what are those 2 pieces of business?
One would be a listing or a referral, buyer, seller, or referral. You
got it. So direct piece of business. So you've got your past clients, Jenny, who love you and think you're amazing. And then you get referrals, right? So that's why we say 12-to-2. Well, the easy math is just go in and put the 1,000 in, right? Put the 1,000 in, divide it by 6, and we get 167 in your case, right?
Yeah.
And those of you who are watching this, you'll end up with a different number. So whatever your METs is, these are people that you've met. You've got their name, their phone number. That you divide it by 6. This is 167 deals for Jenny, whatever yours is. Now, Jenny, how many homes did you sell in 2017?
Not that many.
Okay, so how many did you sell?
In 2017, we 109.
Okay, so here's the thing that's so amazing about this, because I got to find paper. I get excited and wound up.
Yes, this is not how this was supposed to go, by the way.
It's okay. It's how it's going. So we have 109 transactions. Who out there right now watching this would be happy with half that, Jenny? And I think a lot of people would. I mean, you've had great growth because you do 109 deals in 2017. Mm-hmm. In 2015, you did 80 what? 81? Yeah, 81. Now, here's the problem, Jenny. I went to Ball State, and so I got to use a calculator to do the math. That's a difference of 28 transactions in 2 years.
Yeah.
And let's say you're in Tulsa, your average commission is probably like $900.
Or $5,000.
Okay, $5,000. So that's a difference. That's an addition of $140,000, right? Because you went and looked at how you communicate with your database.
True.
So how do you communicate with it differently now than you did in 2015?
I think something to note, I'll share that answer in a second. I think something to note is Gary says that applying this 33 touch, now 36 touch over time.
Yeah, so 3 years.
3 years there.
3 years.
That's the thing to point out for everyone.
Okay. Well, and this is what I would tell you is you're on pace, and I don't know what's your goal this year.
175.
Yeah, exactly. And we said there's 167 in there. And so if you look at where you were, year one that we looked at this, well, what did you do in 2016?
71.
Oh, so you went backwards.
Or no, it was 61, 71, 81, 79,
okay.
97.
So you did 109 in 2017. So you did 97 in, okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. So we go and we look at it and you're at 81. The next year you jump to 97, then you jump to 109. Right. And if you keep that difference going, you're adding 15 deals, then you add another 13 deals or something like that, 12 deals, then, and so, yeah, you're right there, Jenny. Mm-hmm. You're right there because it's time on task over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just, so the answer your question that you asked was what's different is we got, after being with you on that stage and starting with a new coach, I got way, way, way intentional and purposeful about properly categorizing my database.
Well, I'm proud of you for that.
when you asked the question, how many are in your Mets, the true answer back then was, I don't know.
Right. Well, you didn't know, and that's why we had the call before we did the thing, because we needed to know. And I remember you telling me how eye-opening that was for you when you went in and looked, right? Mm-hmm. Because what most agents do is like they go, oh, here's my database. This is not a database.
Right.
This is a cell phone. And a database is something that has data in it. And this has phone numbers in it. And so that's not a database. And a database is something that you know, we had a pharmacy here in town that's been in town for a long time. And they sold to, I don't know, CVS or Walgreens or whatever. Well, what did CVS buy?
I forgot.
Well, they bought the database of that pharmacist.
Yeah. I thought it was like a big corporation or something.
No. This is a local pharmacy. So what they do is they go by the database and the relationships in there, because that's what's worth something.
Right.
And I'm sorry, am I allowed to be honest on this thing, Jenny?
Yes.
Okay, good. Too many agents are going, well, I'm going to go do this or do this or do this or do this. No, you're not going to do anything until you've mastered this. Yeah. Until you've gone back and you go, wait a minute, how many are in the database? I talked to an agent this week, and she's got a huge goal, and I'm proud of her for her huge goal, and she can achieve it. And what she said is she believes she's going to reach this goal by building these different divisions within her organization. And you can grow your business by building different divisions. You could have a short sale business, and you could have a new construction business, and you could have a whatever business. The first question, though, is how many are in the database, and how many deals should you get a year from that group? And quite frankly, this agent who I talked to, she could hit every goal she has for this year if she just pays attention to the people in the database. We don't need more people. We just need to talk to them more. Yeah.
So how about diving into what a 36 touch looks like? How would you help somebody set that up?
All right. So here's the thing. And in 33, 36, people are like, well, what's Gary want now? Just communicate with your people.
Yeah.
Right. And he says, you know, would a 48 touch work? Yes. Would a 26 touch work? Yes. Here's what I wish people would understand. You cannot over communicate. It's absolutely impossible to over communicate. Let me show you something. And Jenny, you've met her. This is my wife right here. This is my wife, Terry, and that's my daughter, Naomi. And you've met both of them, and they're great people. And my wife will be at family reunion. And I think about this all the time. You know, I'm on the road a lot. I'm gone a lot, you know, coaching bold or teaching for KWU or whatever. And I think about this. It's from Susan Scott, Fierce Conversations, the book Fierce Conversations. In fact, everybody write this down. The conversation is the relationship, right? The relationship that I have with my amazing wife, now you're seeing the calculator, that I have with my amazing wife and my daughter is not the fact that we have a marriage license. That is not the relationship. The relationship I have with Naomi is not the fact that I am her father. Like, that doesn't mean that she has to have a relationship with me. Yeah. Here's what a relationship is. It's a conversation. And I would never go to my wife and I would never say to her, you know what, Terry, I've been thinking, and was reviewing my journal and looking at my date book and my calendar. Man, did we talk a lot last year. I mean, we went on a bunch of dates and we had dinner together this many times, and we had, you know, and we spent this many weekends together. We talked so much. I think we're good until like 2019. So I'm going to take 2018 off, and we just don't need to. In fact, I won't even bother. I'm going to stay in the guest room upstairs. You can stay in the room. And if you need me, send me a text or whatever, or I'll see you on Snapgram.
Wow.
Now, would we ever do that? You wouldn't do that to your husband, right?
Right. Wow.
You have a daughter. How old is she? 10 or whatever. How old she is. Yeah. You would not do that to her. You talk to them.
Yeah. Wow.
So we have talked, because here's what happens, Jenny. Here's what happens. I imagine people who are watching this have had a relationship that didn't work. Okay. I mean, is your husband like your middle school boyfriend?
No.
No. So you had dated other people before you married your husband, right? Yeah. So, okay. You didn't know you were going to be on Dr. Phil today, did you?
Jeez, James.
So here's the thing, though. When you don't have conversations with your people, then they get confused and they cheat on you.
Yeah.
And so then you drive by a house that you sold to a buyer and somebody else's sign is in the yard. See, most of the agents who are watching this don't need to go meet more people. You just need to communicate with the people that you already have. And you go, well, how do I do that? Well, Gary's written it for you right here. It's right here. It's right here. 33 touch, 36 touch. So Jenny, what are you doing to communicate with your people? How many calls a year minimum are you having with them?
4.
Yeah. We got to call them once a quarter. And the easy way to figure that out, like Jenny, if we look at yours and you have 1,000 give or take, right? So you have 1,000 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do is this. I would take the number 1,000 because that's how many METs you have. And I divide it by 3 because there's 3 months in a quarter.
Right.
You get 334, right? So then that would be, if you talk to 334 every month, then you get through the whole database every quarter and you talk to them 4 times a year.
Right.
If I divide 334 then divided by 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month, I get 84, basically. A little bit less, right? 84. If I divide that by 5, I get 17, 5 days in a week. When Jenny Wolek makes 17 contacts a day from her database, which the bold standard is 20, so you've got room for 3 more contacts.
Right.
17 contacts a day every day for 3 years gets you 167 deals. And in 167 deals times $5,000, whoops, I did it wrong. 167 times $5,000 is $835,000. And that's on 17 people a day. Mm-hmm. Now, what I find interesting about this is that, and here's what's so fun. This is going to blow your mind. So you have your 835,000. Jenny, if I divide that by 1,000, which is how many people are in your database, I get $835. What that tells me is every person in your database is worth $835, right? Now, how many times a year are you going to talk to them on the phone minimum? 4 times.
4. So
if I take that and divide it by 4, I get 208.75. That means every time, Jenny, you talk to one of these people, you make $208.75. And that might be whether they go, hey, come list our house, or nope, I don't know anybody, call me some other time. Every time you talk to someone from your database, you make $208.75, and you're talking to 17 a day.
Yeah.
That is $3,548.75 a day that you get paid to lead generate. Now, Jenny.
This is the picture from the last time we did this, and it was about $3,600.
Yeah, so it's give or take, right? Same thing, $3,600. Now, here's the thing, Jenny. Where and how long does it take you to talk to 17 people?
2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours maximum, right? Mm-hmm. And that's if you do a little script practice, role play beforehand and stuff like that. Okay. Where in Tulsa, Oklahoma, can you make $3,600 in 2 hours and not get arrested?
Nowhere.
Okay. This is our opportunity. And each day that you choose to not lead generate, what you effectively do is you turn that $3,600. And what I'd rather you just do is go take money and stand over the toilet and flush it down the toilet, because that's what you end up doing, that $3,600. And you know what, Jenny, we're distracted by shiny objects. We're distracted by, you're going to be at family reunion in Anaheim in a couple of weeks, and a bunch of people watching this are probably going to go.
Yeah.
And they're going to go sit in panel after panel after panel, and they're all great panels. I mean, Keller Williams does such a great job of choosing who's going to be on a panel. You were chosen to be on that session that we did because Keller Williams respects you as an agent. These are all great agents who are going. What I'm going to ask you to do is this. Before you go implement things that these agents are using in their business, you have to first make sure you're maximizing what you're getting from this, because you're going to make a mistake if you do it otherwise.
Yeah. So since you're such a student of the MREA, and I was looking for it here, doesn't Gary talk about this? You don't get to be creative until you have... Yeah. You have that highlighted somewhere?
Yeah, I do. And so here's what's fun about this, and I got to share this with you, all right? Gary puts this, it's on page 37.
Okay.
Right here. So Gary, this is in like every book Gary Keller's ever written.
Yeah.
There, if you here I've got shift sitting right here, right? So I got shift right here, and the one thing is right over here. Here's the one thing right over here. I mean, I got them all, right? And if you look at what Gary's written right here in this, it's in everything he does. I got Win with Sellers right down here in the ground because I just taught that. He's telling you it is foundational models before you get creative.
Yeah.
And the challenge with most real estate agents is that they're entrepreneurial, which is great. It's why you got in. Most of them, so many people, like, they got laid off from a job, or they got tired of working for somebody who had all these rules. And so they go, I'm going to go work for me. The challenge is this, and I want you to hear this. When you are entrepreneurial in your business, you will get entrepreneurial results. Now, Jenny, do you ever watch Shark Tank?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes you go on and these people have amazing ideas.
Right.
I mean, we have a scrub daddy in our kitchen right now. You remember the scrub daddy?
Yes, of course.
We've got that. I bought cases of that wine in a cup when I saw that on Shark Tank. I mean, we probably still have some down there. There's so many things. Most of the stuff they don't buy, they don't invest in.
Right.
And I don't know the numbers. My guess would be, I'm just totally guessing, I have to look it up. My guess is 50% of the stuff they do invest in doesn't actually make it. Mm-hmm. There's a handful of things that actually make it. Well, when you watch Shark Tank, here's what happens. People go on the show and they start asking them. They don't ask them, how are you being creative? They ask them foundational questions.
Yeah. Numbers.
What are your sales? How much money have you made? What does it cost you to make this? What's your margin? They're asking, and what happens almost all the time, Jenny?
They don't know their numbers.
They have no idea what they are.
Right.
They have no idea. And so then they aren't going to invest. They come in, they're like, I would like to get $7.4 million for 2% of my company. And they go, what are your sales? Oh, we haven't sold anything yet. This is a prototype. Okay, that's a problem.
Right.
And we're running like a prototype. And what we got to do is go get foundational. Jenny, you have, I don't know how this works in Oklahoma. Do you have Uber and Lyft out there?
Sure do.
Okay. All right. So that is creative. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's creative. You go and you get your phone out and you click a button and you say, ooh, pick me up over here. And some stranger in a car that's random car, you don't know anything about the car, they come, they pick you up and they drive you to wherever you're going. That's creative. Except cabs have been around and car services have been around forever. Do you have you guys have a fancy lake house. Do you ever Airbnb your lake house, or VRBO, whatever that is? Do you ever rent it out?
We don't. We're in a community that
doesn't do that. Okay, there are places though in Tulsa, right, I imagine, where you could go for a long weekend and rent out a place or whatever, and you go on your phone and it's like, some of them, I even saw one time, it was like, share my room. Like, I'm going to be in the room, and I go, who would do this? This is so cool. People do this though.
I know.
So it's creative. You go on the app, whatever. Hotels have been around. I mean, Jesus couldn't even get in one, right? So I mean, they've been around for a long time. It's foundational, and they get creative on top of it.
Yeah.
We got to be careful about, have we put in the foundation first? In bold, we talk about, you got to build a solid foundation, and everything's going to start with that.
Right. So you have really dove deep into the value. And actually, everyone, I have the worksheet that you shared on what's your database worth. Yeah. So I'll share that with everyone. People get really mad at me when I present that to them in a good way.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're looking at themselves in the mirror in a way that they don't like.
Okay, so here's the challenge with that, and this is what I think we've got to come to terms with. One of my MAPS coaches, a guy named Ron Patulski, who I've coached with for a long time, he told me a long time ago that awareness is transformational. Right? You should write that down. Awareness is transformational. And so you've got two choices. And when you do this little form, which is just this little thing to do the math, right, is all this. Mm-hmm. When you do this little form and you go, oh my gosh, I should have sold 167 homes last year and I sold only 109. No, Jenny, you should have sold 109 and that's how many you sold. The potential is 167. And thank goodness you know, because here's the deal. If your goal last year, what was your goal last year? How many homes did you say you're going to sell? 100?
125.
125. Okay, you missed the goal by a handful. You beat the previous year by 12 units? Right? So, and here's the other piece. You go and do the math and you go, my goal is 125. Well, if you do the math and your database has only 90 deals in it, then you have a problem. Mm-hmm. If your goal is 125 and you can do 167 and yet you reach 125, did you reach your goal?
No.
Well, hold on. Let me re-ask the question.
Sorry.
The goal is 125. You can do 167.
Right.
The goal is 125. And if you go sell 125, did you reach your goal?
Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that you could have done more because you reached the goal. So here's the thing you can look at. You become aware of how many deals you can do, and then you choose how many you're going to do, and you go do those.
Right.
And don't judge that I should have done X. Who cares? I mean, I should have gone to Harvard. I didn't either. So, just figure it out and go make it happen. So,
James, how would you encourage, besides reading this book, besides understanding what your potential could be with your database and your transactions, families that you could help, what's some tips of how to get into action?
Okay. The number one thing everyone's missing is accountability. And he talks about it in all 3 books. Yeah. And I'm not just saying this because, I work for MAPS. I wouldn't have, I was a successful team leader for a long time, and I could have kept that job and always been at home every single night for dinner and all that kind of, and I chose to no longer do that because that's how much I believe in what MAPS is about. And it is time. See, here's what I know, Jenny. Everybody who watches your videos has a growth mindset, or they wouldn't watch your videos. True. They choose to grow. They choose to get better. They have a desire to do more. Mm-hmm. Well, without accountability, that's never going to happen. And so the number one thing you have to do is hire a MAPS coach. And that's it. You got to hire a MAPS coach. And then every time Bold is in town, you have to enroll in Bold. And that's the end of the story. And, James wants $5. I don't care. I want you to reach your goal.
Yeah.
And like when you took it 4 times out of 5 launches, I guess my question for you would be, why didn't you take it 5 times, right? No, I'm kidding.
I didn't know there was a 5th one.
Yeah, we do 5 launches. You took it every time. And if you look at what happened, the year that you did 97, 80, 81, 71.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. You've been so consistent in your bolds, and so many people in your region have, right? Mm-hmm. Jason takes it every time, right? I mean, and he travels all over. I had him in Wichita. Yeah. There's so many people who take it every launch, and look what's happened to their production. Chad takes it every time, right? I mean, your region has embraced it, and you've seen the productivity of your people go up. And you're in a place where you make $5,000 a transaction. Imagine if you're in a place where you make $10,000 or $20,000 a transaction, what that means for you. So we've got to add accountability, because here's the deal. We know what we're supposed to do. We just have to what?
Do it.
Do it, except you won't on your own. Oh, I hold myself accountable. Baloney. It's not possible.
I agree. James, I've been doing these Fail Forward Friday videos where I share all of my failures. And of course, they're not failures. They're just feedback. Right. How to get better. And I noticed that I had some things that I said I wanted to do. Want equals lack.
Black word, yep.
And I put them in Facebook land, and there was no real pain or real accountability behind it. And I did not succeed at a high level on these things that I said I chose to do. Yeah. And it's because I also didn't share it with my coach to hold me to it. Yeah. So there's a difference. I still it reminded me of Gary says, think big. Think big, aim high,
act bold, and live large. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was aiming high on these really big goals, and I definitely hit higher than I would have otherwise hit. Yeah. And at the end of the day, it was because I didn't have any real accountability behind it.
Yeah, we got to have accountability. And here's what happens with that. And people look at accountability as a bad thing. I have found that accountability means that I have someone on my team who is going to fight for my greatness more than I'm willing to fight for my own limitations. Because what will happen is we will fight for our limitations. We'll go, well, you don't understand. I had this, and I had this, and I had this. And the challenge with that is when we go on and we blame and we, this happened and this happened, and this happened. Most people will accept that. Most people will say, I understand. I hear you. My wife loves me more than anything on the planet. And if I go to her and I say, honey, I didn't reach a goal because this happened and this happened and this happened, she's going to go, well, you know what? It's okay. Except if I call one of my coaches, and I tell Ron Patulski, or I'm coaching with David Jones now, I coach these people. If I call Diana, if I call John Prescott, and I go, well, this happened, they're going to go, hold on. That might be true. And Let's go to where we really need to go here. And that's going to allow me to grow. And here's what I love about it. They do that out of passion and love for me, because they are going to stand for my greatness more than I'm willing to stand for my own limitations. And you got to get somebody on your team that's willing to do that. And so, yeah, you got to hire a MAPS coach. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's time. Yeah. If you're watching this, you can do it. And if you feel funky about it, then you really should do it. Yeah. It means it's for you.
Yeah. It's an investment.
Yeah.
It's not an expense. Well, I appreciate you so much. I feel like that's a great place to end on. And all of my Keller Williams friends that are going to be in Anaheim, I know they can come talk to you at the MAPS booth.
Yeah, and I'm teaching a couple of sessions.
Oh,
so,
good.
Yeah, I'm doing a shift class on succeeding in any market. And it's like at 7:30 in the morning one day. So please, somebody come to this.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing a bulletproofing your transaction session. And there's going to be so many great sessions. And then for those of you that are in KWYP, I get to, not you. I get to still be in 6 more months. So this is good. I'm facilitating a panel on profit share. So if you're going to the YP thing, I'm going to do that. And there's so much good stuff that please come. And then, connect with me. I'd love to hear from you. I'm easy to find on Facebook, and then everywhere else, it's just James D. Shaw. So Instagram, Snapgram, Twittergram, whatever, James D. Shaw. All right, Jenny, you're my favorite.
You're my favorite, and everyone can see how darn cute your daughter is.
I know, I have the cutest kid on the planet. Look at this right here. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Best dad ever, right there. Yeah, so there you go.
And she's the best little chef.
Yeah, watch her cooking shows on our Facebook. We do that. All right.
All right. Thanks, James.
My pleasure, Jenny.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. If you guys need anything from me, my number's 918-706-9845. Have a great day. Bye.